All right. Hello. 3, 2, 1. Yo, what's going on, Arkansas Razorback fans, SEC fans? How y'all doing? I hope you had a good weekend. I didn't do a post-game show over the weekend. Had a good time. Now look, for anyone who's watching this, like, Ty, why did you do this at 9 o'clock? Well, like I said last week, I want to get back in the rhythm of doing a show before a game. So that's why we're here. That's why I'm doing this. So I do appreciate you guys, and I know I'm sure I'll get a text here in a minute from a couple people. Why, like, oh, bro, I totally ignored that notification thinking it was an old video or something. So, yeah, I don't expect anyone to be in here. This is really just for people. Nothing better to do tonight and tomorrow, trying to get caught up on everything. There's a couple things that happened, or at least one possible thing that happened, and that was Arkansas hiring a new tight end coach. So we're going to talk about that in just a second. But if you guys would, for those of you who are watching this after the fact, after the live show, and for those of you who are in here now, in the comment section, in the live chat, please do me a favor, like the video, tap the subscribe button, check out all the links provided for you down below in the notification, or in the description box, rather. Yeah, it definitely feels, I'm getting old. I can remember 9 p.m. was like when I just started my night, even when I had to get up in the morning early and go to work super early in the morning. 9 o'clock was like just starting my evening. But now, like, I'm creeping up. You know, I'm getting up there in age, man. I'm creeping up on 40, and I'm starting to feel it. Like, all of a sudden, 9 p.m. is like, dang, it might be time to hop in the shower, brush the teethies, do the little mouthwash, do the mouthwashing, and go to bed. Go to sleep to Ancient Aliens or NASA X-Files. You guys watch those shows on History Channel? Did you see Tim Allen is back? He's going to do a show on it's him and Al. What was the guy's real name? They're going to do their show. I don't know if they're going to do this show. It's a game show. I don't know if they're going to do this in character or as, like, their actual, like, as themselves. And they're both real live. Like, both these guys know what to do with their hands. Like, they're like, yeah, they're a step above from what I understand, just like your neighbor who can do everything. Like, they're a step above that. And I think that's what made Home Improvement so awesome. I loved Home Improvement. Even though Tim Allen is like this, this character or whatever, or the character portrayed on the show is a goofball and he overdoes things. I love that show. Home Improvement was the sitcom in the 90s. I never watched the very last episode. Never watched it until my wife and I went through and watched every single season, every single episode. And we watched the last episode. I'm not going to lie, man. Last episodes are always tough, right? The Office is tough. The very last episode of The Office, when Michael leaves the office, that's tough. Okay. Let's get into the tight end coach really fast. We'll start there, and then we're going to dive into this Ole Miss-Arkansas game. I'm pretty excited about this game because a lot of people seem to be overlooking this game getting ready for Oklahoma State. Like, we need to take this a game at a time, and like we said a couple of weeks back, I don't know if you guys have or not, but I have cleaned the slate with my expectations of this Razorback basketball team in 2020 or 2021. Slate is wiped clean. You got to take it a game at a time. You're not good enough, Arkansas, right now, even though I know they're riding a 2-game win streak, and they bounced back from a 19-point deficit against Auburn, right? They went to Vanderbilt and stomped a mud hole in them. Keep in mind, Vanderbilt was missing pieces. And then just Arkansas is just clearly a better team, but they were missing their number 2 guy, and they were missing a couple other bench guys that got quality minutes on the floor on the year so far for them. They weren't there. They didn't play. So that was like a warm-up game, and hopefully you can ride this momentum. They are also, Ole Miss is riding a 2-game win streak as well. Who would they beat? Mississippi State and A&M, I think, are their 2 teams that they beat. Very good on defense. So let me read chat really quick. I know I'm getting way ahead of myself. Yo, what's up, Robert Ainsworth? How you doing? Tanya Henry. Yo, what's up, Ty? Woo Pig Suey. Michael Harris. How you doing, man? In Utah tonight, Robert. Well, I don't know if you want me. I think you've told chat what you do before, and I don't want to put you on the spot, but does it involve driving? I mean, obviously. But be safe out there. Be safe, Robert. You don't have to give, if you don't want your information out there, I try to value people's privacy. But I'm pretty sure you've mentioned that in chat before, but I don't want to jump the gun. But you seem to travel a lot. It's not DJ Williams, not going to lie. I was hoping Pittman would give him a shot. No. God, no. Nothing against DJ Williams. He was a great tight end under Petrino. I want someone who has been a coach, just at least a coach, right? Had DJ coached, I don't know, a lower division, but had a few years under his belt and then maybe a couple of years at a non-power 5 as a tight end coach, yeah, okay, I'd be open to that, right? But people have it in their mind that because these players were great in college and maybe went on to the pros and did something. DJ hopped around. Who drafted him? Green Bay. I think he wound up in, somewhere in Florida, Miami or Jacksonville, somewhere. Never really, his career never really took off. After that, he's been on TV. I don't want a TV personality, right? Would you want me? No, I'm not a TV personality. I'm not even a YouTube personality. I'm just some fat mouth on YouTube that talks about the Razorbacks. Would you want someone like me coaching? Wait, I never played college ball. But would you want someone who doesn't have experience at coaching on that level, on any level in Division I? No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't if like this receiver coach that you just brought in, right? At least he has some non-P5, just like the tight end coach they brought in. I don't want someone that doesn't have that level of pedigree, because there's a lot that goes into it. There's a lot, and if you've listened to enough talk radio over the years, if you've listened to maybe back in the day when Chuck Barrett had his show, Rick Schaefer, Dudley Dawson, then of course later on Bo Mattingly, and now you've got the Morning Rush guys, the Buzz. If you listen to enough of these guys, and when they talk to coaches, there's one thing that does matter, and it's your ability to recruit. Most coaches are capable of coaching because they're in the profession to begin with, right? They've been around it a little bit. Obviously, some are better than others, obviously. Sam Pittman, hell of an offensive line coach. I would argue that Stepp did a great job recruiting and I think development of players at the position. So there's a lot that goes with it, but recruiting is a big, big, big deal. And someone who hasn't recruited at least on a Division I level, even if it was just Tulane, that matters. And I think, too, and the other reason why this hire was made, and we'll go ahead and talk about him, I think the reason why they went after this coach, who is a former offensive line coach, Cody Kennedy, is because of his relationship that Sam Pittman already has with him. I think they made this coaching hire for several reasons. I do think that Cooper was released because the tight end position, I think, was supposed to play a bigger role in 2020 for the Razorbacks. And the production just wasn't really there. Yeah, and you guys know how I feel about the tight end spot. Hudson Henry's a guy that just really hasn't blossomed into the position. You brought in Sutherland, the tight end freshman, never made it onto the field, I don't believe. I'm not even sure he was on special teams. I could be wrong. And then, of course, you had Kern, who really stepped up into the role as the year went on. But they did not grade out well blocking, and they just weren't as productive. And I do think there was something going on there. You look at the linebacker position. I mean, Rhodes is going to step down. We talked about this last week. Rhodes is going to step down into an off-the-field role. I don't know if he sticks with it. If I'm another Power 5 school in need of a linebacker coach, I'm going to look at what Arkansas did in 2020, and I might give him a call. So I don't know that I expect Rhodes to stick around at Arkansas for very long as some off-the-field, some off-the-field role, whatever. But you're going to have a former coach there at that position, or a guy that's been around coaching a little bit. And again, that's my beef with DJ. Now, Chris Gregg, I was open to Chris Gregg. The guy's coached. He's coached, right? DJ has been more or less disconnected from the sport outside of a personality role, right? Like a TV personality role. So that was kind of my beef with him. And his name surfaced. It became like people were trying to speak him into existence. And I'm like, no, please, God, no. Maybe if he wants to get into coaching, do it the way you're supposed to. Ask Drew Morgan about that. Drew Morgan is trying to work his way around. I remember when we had him on the Hog Talk, and he had just retired from the NFL. He had just stepped away, and we had him on not long later. Jacob and I had a really good conversation with him. Ask him and the demand that's asked of these coaches, and that was with the Chad Morris staff. I mean, come on. Let's think about a staff like Sam Pittman, which is on such a higher level than Chad could ever dream of, right? This hire I like because I understand it. When you grade out as poorly as Arkansas did at the tight end position this year, thank God Kern's coming back. If Hudson Henry could stay healthy, Aaron Outley, who had an injury at Little Rock Parkview, if he can overcome his injury, if Sutherland can step up, position it could be a potential bright spot there. Aaron Outley, some believe, had he stayed healthy all this last year, he could have had a decent bump in the ratings. Not necessarily another star, but at least a bump in the ratings. But he definitely dropped after his injury. He wasn't really given the opportunity to showcase his abilities. But so Kennedy's taken over a spot that has depth, experience, and I think even some talent. Is it the most talented position on the roster? Hell no. No. But it could be. And it just depends on what he's able to do with it. They graded out poorly in the blocking game. I think that's why they hired him. I think that's why they're bringing Kennedy on. I also think with all these rumors circulating around the offensive line coach getting interest from other schools, I wonder if they're grooming him. I hate saying that word. That's such a creepy word to say. Are you grooming him? It sounds like sounds like something you'd hear on Dateline MSNBC. But are they developing him or kind of giving him the opportunity to maybe take that role if the offensive line coach is if that position is open this time next year, or who knows, even this year, because we're not over this. I thought we were. I kind of felt like Arkansas, the door was swung closed for the most part. I didn't think there would be any changes, and here we are. Rhodes was just – this wasn't him being abducted from another team. This is them bumping up Scherer. So, and again, Scherer, who was on staff at Arkansas, you kind of understand that a little bit. But then you there's rumors circulating around LeBlanc getting interest from the NFL. So is Sam Pittman, is he kind of looking out like, all right, I'm going to make this hire so I've got my next offensive line coach? I wonder if that's played some level, some role on some level. So yeah, and there's still some possible changes on the staff. That makes me sad because I like the staff that they had. I didn't mind losing Cooper. Wasn't to me like it was a little. What's going on here? Like, did he take another job? What's going on? Do they have someone else lined up? And if you think about it, didn't take them that long to find his replacement. So I feel like that was planned. I really do. I think it was planned. I think they wanted to go out and grab. I think they wanted someone who had, Sam Pittman knew. Again, he was with Sam Pittman at Georgia. When was that? 2017? When he was at Georgia, 2018. So he was an assistant offensive line coach. He was an offensive line coach at Tulane. Then was hired on at Southern Miss, I think last December. And then Arkansas just walks in and takes him off their hands. I'm pretty sure someone might have to correct me if I'm wrong on that, but that's what you get for being in a Power 5 conference, right? Like, you're going to be able to do that. You're going to walk into somewhere like, oh, you just hired this guy? That's great. We're going to take him. I don't know. Now, it's not been confirmed. There's also the possibility that Kennedy is maybe it's smoke. I don't know. We thought LeBlanc was gone, right? Or we thought there were going to be more changes, and there haven't been. You remember the Odom stuff? LSU creeped in there after Texas, and he's still here, and I think we're stuck with Odom, and I'm okay with that. So, are there going to be more changes? You just never know. And at this point, and I've made this comment before, or I've said this before, it ain't over till it's over. And in the world of college football, it's never over. You know, I mean, until like the next year, until fall, like really, you're not safe until like spring. Like that time between spring and the end of the following football season is when you feel the most comfortable about coaches. But even then, I mean, hell, Bob Stoops at Oklahoma before he retired, I think he went through spring training and then retired like in the month of May or June. That still shocked me. I was like, what? Why would he do that? Why wouldn't he have retired before spring? You know, I mean, you're installing more offense, right? Like you're whatever changes you want to make or whatever adjustments and everything that you want to make in between your year, some of that happens in the spring. There's some vital things that happen in the spring, not to mention the newcomers that come in. You want to get them introduced on a different level. Now you've got the entire team around you. Like, hey, come on in. Yeah. And then Bob Stoops is like, peace. That was crazy. So you never know, but we'll keep an eye on it. So yeah, go back to the comment section here really quick. Oh, $5. I don't know why that didn't pop up on my screen at the top there, but Joe says, appreciate the super chat, Dono. Joe, who do you want to win? Who do you think is going to win the Super Bowl? Also, what do you think the chances are we beat Texas? Boy, oh boy, Texas. You always have to give the team that has more talent than you do, or at least that appears to be the case right now. You have to give them the benefit of the doubt. Sarkisian is a hell of an offensive mind. He hasn't had an overwhelming successful career. I'm not there yet to give you an idea on what I think yet. I mean, I'll be honest with you guys. I don't typically answer those kinds of questions. Sometimes not even until the week we play. I want to do a preseason. I want to do a preseason pick. You know how the year works out. You know, game by game. But keep in mind, like those also change, right? And I didn't do this with basketball this year because of COVID-19, because of all the regulations from the NCAA, because of the dead period now. I mean, there's so many questions. You talk about recruiting. That's now affected your recruiting, and it's going to continue to do so. And I don't know how long the dead period's going to last for football recruiting, but then you look at how involved is the NCAA going to be during the spring? Are we going to have a completely uninterrupted spring? Is the NCAA, is the SEC going to leave these teams alone and let them do their thing? Let them do, let the natural process that takes place in the offseason, which is development, installation, and guys just getting better, which is development. But I don't know. I mean, I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see, and we'll evaluate Texas. I mean, I may not even have anything for you until right before the season starts. And again, I usually do those the week before the season, before week 1, which should be Rice. I thought we were going to get a schedule. This week. We still could. I guess we're only coming up on Wednesday. Maybe I read that wrong from the university, but I thought we were going to get a schedule from those guys. I guess not. Or maybe not. I don't know. It's only Wednesday. But normally you start to hear the rumors like, oh, the schedule's going to come out. And I'm not hearing anything. Now, as far as the Super Bowl, I am not rooting for the Chiefs. I know I have Chiefs fans in chat. I'm getting sick of the Chiefs. I'm not going to lie to you, man. Most of the Chiefs fans in my chat are just fine. There's nothing wrong with the Go Chiefs hashtags or the Go Chiefs in chat. Hey, that's great. You're cheering on your team. I'm obviously a Ram fan. If this were me in my chat, I'd probably hashtag Rams and all that. Go Rams. But most other real-life Chief fans that I know used to be pretty cool people. Now they are so obnoxious. And they think Kansas City is now like the sports capital of the world. Now, of course, the Royals won their World Series a little while back. And it's just, I'm so over it. I typically almost always root for the NFC anyways. I'm going to be rooting for Tom Brady. I don't know. Nothing, again, for you Chiefs fans, nothing against you. I promise. Most of you in my chat are awesome. I loved it when Mahomes, I was cheering on Kansas City. Like, yes, hell, I cheered for them when they won the World Series. Obviously I'm a St. Louis guy and also a Boston guy, and I'm kind of all over the place with the teams I follow. I used to hold true to nothing but St. Louis and, of course, Arkansas. But, as a kid, getting to watch Larry Bird on TNT during his final years with the Celtics, I can remember just having my mind blown. And I know a lot of Kansas City Chiefs fans feel that way, right? Like Kansas City, they're watching their Larry Bird, who's Patrick Mahomes, just, I don't know, he's obliterating NFL secondaries, and he's winning championships. And Kansas City is good. All the respect in the world. I fully expect them to win. I think it's probably even going to be a pretty bad blowout. I'm going to be real with you. I thought the Rams were I thought they were the second best team in the NFC. I think if anybody could give the Chiefs a problem, it would have been the Rams. Goff is just such a, I don't know, man. I'm kind of over Goff. I don't know if I'm willing to give him another year, but even then, that's kind of stretching it. But it might be a pretty good game in the first half just because of Brady's experience and his know-how. Don't ever overlook experience. But and he's got some weapons on offense, but my God, the Chiefs on offense are ridiculous. They're good on defense. It's gonna be a good game. It's gonna be a good game. That's all I want. Give me an exciting game. Give me something like Rams Titans way back in the day when the greatest show on turf. You remember that? Guy stretching out. Of course, I'm like, my heart's beating 1,000 miles a minute, and my dad's probably, if I remember right, telling me to calm down. I'm like, are you kidding me? He almost scored. I was so excited about that, though. And the Rams, of course, he would come up short, and the Rams would win the Super Bowl. I want something like that. That was exciting. Or the comeback wins or something. I want something. Just give me something exciting. I really don't care at the end of the day. I have no skin in the game here. I had to tell someone that the earth wasn't flat. Oh, Lord. Yes, thankfully got rid of Nolan. Hey, Ty, Cooper was flirting with OU and his old coach in Oxford behind Pittman's back. I have no idea. Cooper played at OU, so maybe he was. I kind of feel like the tight end position was a spot that I felt kind of held the offense back. It's really, and I'm going to give anybody outside of special teams, I'm going to give most position coaches, coordinators a year to get things right. I'm going to be real with you. I thought the tight ends kind of held them back a little bit, but Blake Kern did kind of come along as the year went on. No big, I don't think it's as huge of a loss as some people, have tried to make it out to be. It's not. Again, I thought Rhodes being asked to step down was, or if that was even the case, I don't know. Maybe he asked for it. I don't know. Grant Patrick says we'll be solid. Hopefully we'll draft a good right in this year. It seems like we haven't had a good one since Witten. Oh, you must be talking about, okay, that's something else. Next season we will be much better. Okay, again, that must be cowboy talk. Did you cry, Ty? About what? What did I cry about? What are you talking about? Brady or Chiefs, thanks for all you do, but I appreciate the content. Hey, I appreciate that, Shane, if you're still in chat, man. I appreciate that. Home Improvement was an awesome show. Don't have any of those now. All the best content is on Disney, if I'm being real with you. Of course, I'm a comic book nerd. Like I'm a 90s kid, right? Like I've got a Power Rangers pop vinyl up there. Like Disney, of course that's not Disney licensed, but Disney's where all the best shows are, everyone in my opinion. I'm digging WandaVision, but Mandalorian was excellent. Season 2 was excellent. But no, you're right. They don't make shows like that anymore. Last Man Standing, I was watching that for a while, and I really just kind of got out of it, if I'm being honest. We need to go back and watch it again. Yeah, we definitely could use a couple of defensive tackles, and a great tight end is always good. All I want is the Hog football. All I want is the Hog football to get better. That's all I care about. Right? I think we're all in agreement there. Well, you guys are talking about the Cowboys. Ugh. So let's get Ty a contract with the Hogs to be on the roster. I don't think so. Too old, fat, and slow. What about Atypical are you watching on the Netflix? What about Atypical are you watching on Netflix? I don't know what that is. I've never heard of it. Only thing I watch on Netflix is documentaries. It's really about all I watch. Well, The Witcher was really good. Witcher was awesome. Witcher was really good. I really liked Witcher. There's a couple stuff. I watch a lot of stuff on the Russian Revolution. The early 1900 stuff. If you're really interested in what happened there with the Bolsheviks, and it's fascinating. I find that part of history, and it's something we don't do enough of. We don't understand how bad things were. We think everything now is so evil and bad and boo. We're spoiled with what we have, and I think people forget about some of the good that has actually happened as a result of Western civilization and what have you. So I like watching this stuff on history just to kind of remind me, and it's just, it's fascinating. I find it really, I love history. History's awesome. I've never heard of Atypical. Is that a show, or was that a mistype? Why, Ty, you could just do one game? Ty, are you a Canes or Slims guy? Canes all day for me. Slims. Now, Slims 2006, when did they start? Like 03, 04? Early on, it was fantastic. Tyler is famous for starting shows and not finishing. Drives me. Oh, it's my wife. She called me out in my own chat. I am very well known for doing that. I will not finish shows. We finished The Witcher, though, Sarah. Don't even lie. We fall asleep to we put Ancient Aliens on, or the NASA X-Files. I don't know. The NASA X-Files is great stuff, man, because it's all declassified from the government. It's really awesome. Atypical is a show. I've never heard of it, Manny. I'm sorry. I'll say I'll check it out, but I'll be real with you. Making a Murderer is still the best thing I've seen on Netflix to this day. I think Sarah watches that. My wife watched that. I just watched the Unabomber, in his own words, on Netflix. I watched that a couple weeks ago. Speaking of my wife, if she's still in chat, it'd be great if she turned the heat down. Just FYI, it's like an oven in here. Look at my other comments. What was your other comments? I repeat, schedule will be... Oh, okay. We'll be released on SEC Network tomorrow at 1 p.m. Thank you, Judd. I appreciate that. I was not aware. Arkansas schedule dropping tomorrow. Okay. Thank you for that. Sorry, chat is this size. Like, the letters are this, so it's hard to keep up with everything. I have to really zoom in. Nope, feels great. You say that. I'm going to be in here all night. I'm going to play Mass Effect later. And all right, let's move on to basketball. People watching this later are going to be like so pissed off. All right, Ole Miss. We'll finish with this. I'm going to have to timestamp this show, I think. Ole Miss, not huge. They're not big, but they can rotate in some size. They are a really good defensive team. They get a lot of their momentum going, just off turnovers, half court basketball. Like they're gonna force turnovers. They're gonna swap up, their zone and man defense. They're gonna force you to turn the ball over, and we've seen Arkansas at times this year do just that. We've seen them turn the ball over in games. I mean, who was that? Was that Auburn? They turned the ball over 10, 12 times in the first half. Florida and LSU, you turned it over a lot early on. You got off these slow starts. And this is one of those games where, it'd be nice if you started off with a big lead. It'd be great to maybe get into the 8-10, maybe into the double-digit leads, not get off slow. You never want to start off slow, but this is one of those games where you shouldn't be penalized too much if you do. Ole Miss is not a high-scoring team. They don't put up a lot of points. On the year, it looks like if you get about 65 points or more, obviously, you're in pretty good shape. They just held Mississippi State and A&M to 46 and 50 points. My God, I am in an oven. I am in an oven. I'm gonna have to hire Karen. I'm gonna have to hire her just so she can guard the thermostat. The vent is like right above me and it's just blowing down on me. And we took the vent off so we could paint the ceiling, or so she could. So it's just blasting heat down on top of me. I'm just saying. The conditions that I work with. Yeah. So obviously you want to avoid a slow start, but this is not one of those games. Ole Miss is not one of those games that's going to penalize you too much. Again, they're not a high-scoring team. Now, their two leading scorers, Schuler and Joyner, are capable of getting points on you pretty quick. They can. But Schuler, their leading scorer, gets about 15 points a game, and Joyner's just at about 11 points. Romello White is kind of their well-balanced forward. Romello White is capable of getting, 5-6 rebounds, but he can get you into double-digit points. But they do force turnovers. And, they are turning the ball over about 14 times a game, so you're going to have the opportunities on the defensive end as well. This could be a pretty sloppy game. I don't know who's going to match up with who in this one. I mean, it should be pretty straightforward because – I say that. I'm sure they'll put Tate on Schuler, who's their leading scorer, but we'll see what they do with Joyner and White and Buffin and Rodriguez. I feel like Tate, Sills, Moody, Smith, Vanover is probably going to be your starting group here. But these guys are riding a little bit of a wave of momentum. They're feeling pretty good about themselves. Now, Arkansas is favored to win this thing, obviously. I mean, right? I mean, Ole Miss not exactly killing it this year. They're right now they're sitting at 3-4 in conference play, 8-6 overall. Arkansas, who's 4-4 in conference play, 12-4 overall. What is the prediction here? Yeah, okay. Arkansas. I knew it was 60 something. It's almost 67% according to the ESPN Basketball Power Index. Moody, your leading scorer for the Hogs at 17 points. Look, it's going to get frustrating. I'm not going to lie. Arkansas is only favored right under 6 points. This game is tight for a reason. And I'm not saying Arkansas loses this game, but it could be a pretty tight game. One of two things happen. I don't see Arkansas losing it, but it's either going to be a final 2 or 3 possessions kind of game, maybe final 4 or 5 possessions kind of game, or Arkansas finds a way and stretches the game out with their depth chart and their size. And they find a way to kind of add on to that lead in the final minutes and maybe stretch it out to 8, 9, 10, 11, whatever. So I do like the Hogs in this game. The over-under right now is at almost 143. That's what the over-under is currently at. Again, Ole Miss 8-6, 3-4 in conference. Arkansas 12-4 overall with a 4-4 conference record. It's gonna be a defensive game for Ole Miss, and they're gonna force a lot of mistakes. And when you talk about some of the issues Arkansas's had, they get sloppy with the ball underneath. They sloppy passing. They try to get cute sometimes and try to, they don't get enough ball movement outside, and then things get messy inside, and it turns out that you're kind of forced into some situations you'd rather avoid, and you start turning the ball over. You get rushed a little bit. You have someone like J.D. Notae come in and try to drive the lane and just turn the ball over. They're going to have to play smart basketball. They're going to need plenty of ball movement. And I think, too, the difference here is that Arkansas, this could be a game where if you can get some threes to land early, you're going to be able to stretch them out on defense, and maybe – finally, we'll start to see Arkansas size in conference play really well. I mean, they did pretty well against Vanderbilt, but Auburn, I guess. But you're gonna really get to see them open things up outside, and then it's gonna open things up for them underneath if they could splash some threes early on. But Ole Miss, they have a little bit of depth. They've got a little bit of size, but there's no real mismatch here outside of them just being well coached. Like Musselman said, they're well coached. They're riding a little bit of a momentum, but so is Arkansas. Both teams coming in with a 2-game win streak. But don't turn the ball over. Better ball control. Again, let's rack those assists up, right? Like Arkansas, you see how this team works on the offensive end when they're moving the ball around and they're racking up assists. they're dangerous, and when they're moving the ball around, I mean, I think anybody on offense, when you get ball movement going on, you're going to be dangerous. But seems like with Arkansas, with all the scores, if Moody goes quiet, I don't know, maybe they're going to be able to rely on Justin Smith. Maybe we'll start to see him open things up underneath and get some easy buckets down underneath, or Tate, or one of these other maybe JD Notae. Someone else is capable of doing something great on the offensive end if Moody slows down. We've seen that this year, and that's what's going to hurt Ole Miss. They have played teams that are pretty talented this year. I don't know if they've played a team that has all of the above. Again, I say it every week. You've got the talent, you've got the depth, you've got the size, you've got the athleticism. And you've got, it's not just depth at like the guard spot. Like you've got forwards, you got guys, your 4 and 5 spot you feel pretty confident about. So this is a game that you should win by at least a margin of 5 or 6 or 7 points. And it probably will be a close game, but you're also just as capable, I think, of stretching that lead out in the final minutes and maybe beating Ole Miss by 10, 12 points. There is also that possibility that the other Arkansas team shows up, the one that showed up against Mizzou, the one that showed up against LSU, the one that showed up against Bama, and you lay a big fat egg in Bud Walton, and you lose the game. You find a way to lose. That could happen. That's why, really nothing is 100% ever, because you got to play the game on the field and you got to play the game on the court. But they're still not in that position of, oh yeah, that's fully a win. I'm not prepared to do that. I'm saying you should win. You're better than Ole Miss, but Ole Miss is really well coached. They play good defense. They force mistakes. They force turnovers. So nothing's a given. How about Alabama? Did you guys see that? They barely squeaked that one out. They found a way to beat Kentucky. That was I didn't actually watch the game. I was keeping up with it on Twitter though. Please tell me you've seen Stranger Things on Netflix. We have, and we have finished. Yes, Sharon, we're caught up. Last episode was a tearjerker. I don't even remember the last episode. I'm already over it. I can hear my wife shaking her head in the living room. Ty, need help with downloading College Football Revamped. The instructions are too much for me. Listen, Grant, if you guys have not checked out College Football Revamped, first off, it's amazing. It is awesome. I wish I had it up right now. I would point my camera at it and just show you the greatness. It's got the updated jersey, the updated, the pants with the pinstripes down the pants, updated logos. Oh, it's beautiful. It is beautiful. There's still NCAA 14. I still hate. I hate that game. As far as I have very high standards for NCAA football, and 14 was the lowest. It was not good. This has made me fall in love with it, though. I'm not going to lie. I had to have a friend help me. I'm not even going to lie. I had to have a friend of mine help. So, yeah. my boy, I'll just call him D. He had to come over here and help me. It is a lot. It's a little bit of work. I'm not going to lie. I'm sorry I can't help you anymore. All I could say is just try to Google it. Maybe if you've got a tech-savvy friend. I've got a couple tech-savvy friends, but my boy D really helped me out. But it is phenomenal. I'm sorry, I need my room to be freezing cold at all times, especially when I go to bed. I'm with Ty on this one. Thank you, Grant. Well, I'm married to a live stream. What's up, Chris Johnson? I've got 2013, 2014, but I like 13 way better. Yeah, recruiting. You're right. Recruiting is just terrible on 14. It's so awful. I hate this stupid, putting the points in. I don't know. The layout of it is just not as good. It feels like they dumbed down recruiting on NCAA. That, and when you what formation is it? When you have your running backs, your running back 1 and running back 2 to your left and right, and you've got a receiver in the slot and 2 receivers out on the boundary, and you run a play fake. What happens is my quarterback does this thing where he looks like he's riding an invisible horse and he's stuck. And I'm like, oh my God, I don't know what to do. And the play results in a sack. It drives me crazy. 14's got a lot of issues. But revamped has made it look, I don't know what it is. It's just so much better. So, all right. Thanks to Joe for taking part in the super chat. I appreciate that. I'm going to make sure I didn't miss any other super chats. I don't think I did. Okay, scrolling down. I do like Arkansas to win this game, but it's not an automatic win. I don't know that I ever believe in automatic wins anyways, but this will be a tough one. Ole Miss is going to be pretty tough. So, didn't you have to make phone calls on recruiting in 2014? It's been so long. You had to do weekly, and I think you do still on 14, but now because you can just edit anyone you want, and I don't do that, but it dumbs down the recruiting process so much. I don't even do the week-to-week recruiting anymore because I hate 14's recruiting process so much. I just wait until you get to the recruiting phase of the postseason, and then I go in and do my recruiting then. It just turns me off so much. The phone calls were in 13. I think they were. It's been so long since I played anything other than 14 because 14's your last one. So, anyways, yeah. Okay. Yeah, Revamped is awesome. If you get an opportunity, I highly recommend if you've got a PS3, a 360. I've heard you can even do it on PC. I don't know, but it's worth it. It completely changes the game. I mean, it really does. It's awesome. They've even got this really cool video, a new video, an updated video with Clemson, with Trevor Lawrence, and I think there's some updated Alabama. I mean, not that any of us care about Clemson or Alabama, but it's got some updated footage. It's pretty sweet. So, Alex Henderson, what I miss? All of it. All of it. All right. Kennedy, the new tight end coach. That's what you missed. We talked about that a little bit. I like the hire. I mean, we'll see. It's a position coach. You don't really know what happens till it happens. And then I like Arkansas to beat Ole Miss tomorrow. There will be a post-game show. I think games tip-offs at 7:30? Is that right? Is it 7:30? Yes, I'm very well aware that the tight end coach looks like me. I've heard that now several times. I think I'm fatter than he is, but he's awfully handsome. I'll say that. If he looks like me, if you guys think I think he's handsome. Just saying. Maybe it is me, for all you know. All right, I'll see you guys in the post game tomorrow. Woo pig. Go Hawks.